Library has reopened. I hope you enjoy this video.
Thank you everyone for coming out. Please come on over. Let's get started. 10 o'clock on the dot. Good morning, everyone. Please, if I can have your attention. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Greg Edelman. I'm the president of the Ludington Library Board of Trustees, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we welcome you this morning to this wonderful event. It's a wonderful event for the reopening of Ludington as well as for Bryn Mawr and the community in general. We have Bryn Mawr 100 today, going on today as well, and we're proud to have the reopening of Ludington Library as the keystone and kickoff event of this special day. As you all can see, this is a day that has been long awaited by many of us. It's a day that we reopen one of the most valuable institutions we have here in Lower Merion Township, and especially in particular in Bryn Mawr community. Ludington has been completed and fully expanded. It now has 35,000 square feet of public space for libraries, meetings, gatherings, educational activities, and pretty much anything you would like to do in terms of community involvement. In particular, we have expanded our children's sections, our business sections, health sections, travel sections, cooking, gardening, the audio books, DVDs, music, and much, much more. There's new public art displays, a large 120-person public meeting space, a green roof bringing in environmentally sensitive technology to new construction in the township, as well as, and I think most importantly, full handicap accessible facilities throughout the entire library. So this library is a true public space, free and open to all of us. Obviously, this type of a project is very large in scale, and there are many, many, many people who are involved and who are integral in bringing it forward and bringing it to you today. Just very briefly going through a list of many thank yous. The Lower Merion Township Board of Commissioners and their support of public libraries, in particular Ludington, is invaluable, helping this community continue to thrive and grow. In particular at the township, Doug Cleland, Township Manager, and Assistant Township Manager Pat Ryan, the Lower Merion Library System Board of Directors and its President Michael Golden. The Library Architects of the Teta Group, in particular Jim Keller, who spoke the other day so beautifully about all of the wonderful enhancements and designs here at Ludington. We thank him for his help and his group for their help. Township Engineer Ed Plusnik and Pannoni Associates, Fundraising Consultants Schultz and Williams and Jim Wellen, Library Technology Consultants Advanced Workstation and Education, in particular Mike Quoronis, Director of Public Works Don Cannon, McLink System Administrator Miriam Phillips, former Commissioner here as well, Library Planning Consultants Himmel and Wilson, who started this whole project many years ago throughout the entire township with their specific recommendations that the Commissioners adopted. Special Library Consultant Harry Noor, former State Librarian Claire Zales, Commonwealth Libraries former Assistant Director of Libraries Rob Daigle, and also a particular thank you to Township Facilities Maintenance Supervisor Mark Eppright, who I know is here today. He was helping me move chairs earlier. He's inside. His role here was invaluable, and others will be speaking about Mark as well. I'd also like to recognize some of our distinguished elected officials here. I see State Senator Dalen Leach is here this morning, as well as State Representative Tim Briggs. And I have a couple of special thank yous I'd like to single out. To my left here, you see Mr. Charlie Bloom, former commissioner, who's also the chair of the Capital Campaign and the Lower Merion Library Foundation Board. Charlie has worked tirelessly in a very difficult economy to raise money to help fund these projects. I'd also like to thank all of my board members on the Lower Merion Ludington Library Board of Trustees. Their continued support and activities and involvement in this community and this library have meant very much to me, as well as to other people involved in the functioning of the library. Another special thank you to Christine Steckel, the Lower Merion Library Systems Director. I know she's here somewhere. She doesn't like to take the limelight, but she deserves it with all of her support and activities that she does on behalf of our library system. I have a special thank you to the former president of the Ludington Library Board of Trustees, Helen Weary, who's standing here. And she is, I don't know what I can tell you, she makes my job easy. It's very difficult being president of a library board that's been closed for a couple of years, but yet keeping the library board moving forward. And Helen, we thank you for your efforts, your dedication, and I know you'll continue to be working on behalf of Ludington because you have a love for libraries, in particular this library. Lastly, and most importantly, Ludington Library owes everything in its success, its continued improvement, and its, I would like to say, high stature in this Commonwealth to Marjorie Hall, our head librarian, who's right here wearing, I'm a be a bookworm at Ludington crown. Marjorie and her staff of librarians and volunteers are what make this library special for every one of you coming here today. They are the ones that, when you walk through this door, they help you with everything that you need. And they're the ones, when you leave, they say thank you and see you again soon. They are the people that really make this institution year in and year out the special place that it is. Lastly, there's all of you here, the community, the individuals who have given to Ludington, who have helped Ludington, and the businesses and the business community here in Bryn Mawr. We're all one big, successful institution together. Ludington is one part. We all look forward to continuing to work together for a successful future. With that, I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine who's also a member of the board and your local township commissioner here in Ward 10, Scott Zeloff. Scott has been invaluable in his role on the board as well as in the community in terms of planning for this library and planning for business and successful business throughout Bryn Mawr as well as surrounding community. And I'd like Scott to take a few moments to speak to you this morning. Scott?
Thank you, Greg. Greg Edelman is the new chair of the board of the Ludington Library and has done a fabulous job in a very short time. A round of applause, please, for Greg. It is a memorable day as we reopen the new expanded and renovated Ludington Library here in Bryn Mawr. It has been just about every day that people in the community ask me, when is Ludington opening? It has been missed by the residents. It's been missed by the businesses. Ludington is a neighborhood library. It's a Bryn Mawr library. It's a Lower Merion Township library. It's a Montgomery County library, and it's a regional library. It is the largest circulating library in the township and the largest circulating library in the county. Over 1,000 people a day come through these doors, and that was before the renovation and expansion. Ludington is an anchor here in Bryn Mawr. It brings people into the town, and it brings people not only to enjoy the library, but to shop and dine in our community. There has been so much to celebrate, so many improvements in Bryn Mawr recently. There's a new Acme down the street. There's a brand new intersection down Bryn Mawr Avenue. There is new parking and medical offices to support the hospital. There are 28 new townhomes right around the corner that sold out in 14 months. Where else has that happened recently? Those new residents can walk to dine, to shop, to go to the movies, to catch the train, and they can walk to this brand new library. A few years ago, this community created the Bryn Mawr Master Plan. It's a living document. It's a document where there was a lot of public discussion, a lot of give and take, a document that was ultimately accepted by the Lower Merion Commissioners. The Master Plan made many recommendations, several of which have been implemented. The Master Plan recommended the sweeping new Bryn Mawr Village zoning district, which was enacted. The Master Plan also recommended that if Ludington were to be expanded, that it become a more pedestrian-friendly library with an entrance along the Lancaster Avenue sidewalk. The advice was that Ludington be brought forward to Lancaster Avenue so that its street presence and frontage would match the rest of Lancaster Avenue in central Bryn Mawr. The Master Plan notes, and I quote, Ludington is on a prominent site at the corner of Lancaster Avenue and Bryn Mawr Avenue, and that in addition, on its most visible facade along Lancaster Avenue could transform a modest building into an architectural landmark. Ludington could be a beacon of light and activity inviting people in for information, reading, and programs. We got it right. We've taken another step forward as the master plan recommended. This new pedestrian-friendly Ludington is all that and more. Today we celebrate Ludington as a kickoff to Bryn Mawr Day. Among the many activities in Bryn Mawr Day, there is a recognition and celebration of the institutions in Bryn Mawr that are over 100 years old. There are 19, and later today, in a few moments, in fact, we'll welcome 2 more. Ludington will join that group in just 4 years. In 2016, this library will be 100 years old. We heard from Greg a number of thank yous, and when you go down the road of thanking people, it's very difficult to do without going through the whole list. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to pick 3 people. I want to thank Mark Epwright. Mark Epwright was the project manager who persevered through this long construction process. I want to thank Mark was here every day in a difficult project. I want to thank Helen Weary, who has been tireless in her support and enthusiasm. And I want to thank a true public servant who has been raising money in our community to help pay for this significant project, Charlie Bloom. Charlie chairs the Lower Merion Library Foundation as it campaigns for private support. We're going to hear from Charlie in a moment, and I fully expect that he will remind you that contributions are still needed and welcome. And finally, the biggest thanks to the Lower Merion taxpayers for supporting this renovated and expanded Ludington Library. It is extensive. It has extensive spaces and cozy spaces. It has a new reading porch, a larger children's area, improved accessibility, and so much more. It's taken a long time to get here, but that construction time will be a distant memory when you see this library. I know you'll enjoy patronizing this icon in Bryn Mawr today and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. At this time, I'd like to call President of the Board of Commissioners here in Lower Merion Township, Elizabeth Rogan.
Hi, everybody.